Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Glad to have you here. Today we have a Clan Angrund versus beastmen matchup. And I will be leading Belegar Ironhammer against the beastmen invaders, and he is joined by Throny Ironbrow, a runesmith here, an ethereal runesmith. And expecting best scores, you can see I have a front line of longbeards with great weapons. Out on each flank I do have some dwarf warriors. In the back, dwarf warriors with great weapons, just a ton of them. Hoping to catch and smash some chariots. I do have Halkenhoff Stonebeard, an ethereal Thane out here in the back to kind of support. I do have the Goblobber and a regular Grudge Thrower, Ulthar's Raiders, one unit of Thunderers, Warriors of Dragonfire Pass are kind of supporting this middle. And I do have quite the flying contingent. I do have a gyrocopter with brimstone guns and the Skyhammer gyro bomber. So I love this guy because he does have incredible armor-piercing missile damage, 690, and I think it is even more in that 690 is even more than in vanilla, but it still does a ton of damage in vanilla. And this, though it is buffed in the Steel Faith overhaul. Over here you can see kind of an expected army here from the beastmen. Tons of armor-piercing damage. You can see some Centaurs out on the flank. He has some Gore Herd with shields up here in the front to meet shield. 3 Bestigor Herd, 2 Minotaurs with shields, which is a great pick. Definitely need that extra protection in there. You can see just a dude. Just like, oh man, just pinned to the middle of his shield. Definitely intimidating. And you can see in the middle he does have a Gore Bull, a Cygor, a Bray Shaman of Wild, a Giant, and Malagor, or Morgar Shadowgave. So definitely a terrifying core here, and a decent little flanking force here with the Centaurs with great weapons. But I do have a ton of stuff here in the back, so hopefully I'll be able to kind of to stop those guys from getting in against my very limited amount of Thunderers. There you can see a rock is going off, hitting my Grumbling Guard. Great target. And I'm going to immediately open fire here on these Minotaurs. I need to get them off the field, and I'm going to take this chance to drop some bombs on these guys while firing at them. And I'm going to do some strafing runs here with my Skyhammer, because I never can remember to do it in the middle of the fight, and it's always sacrificing micro. Oh man, these guys are just getting decimated. Look at that, almost a whole unit. I do kind of miss right there. But I've done a ton of damage, and that's going to allow me to start focusing my Grudge Throwers elsewhere, mostly on these other 2 units. You can see here in the middle I am opening fire. You can see my Grudge Throwers firing there. Trying to put down this Giant. Thunderers opening fire on the first target they can see, because why not? And you can see doing some nice damage to that Bestigor too. Just so much damage done here. And just to make sure my lines stay nice and even, I'm not going to get those counter charges. Not too much of a charge bonus there, and they do have charge defense against large foes. So those Minotaurs are not getting their charge bonus off. And you can see I'm now going to shoot into the flank of these Centaurs with that armor-piercing damage and the armor-piercing damage of these gyrocopters. So definitely putting some hurt down, and while I focus on the Giant with my Ulthar's Raiders and with my Thunderers. But here you can see a Cygor is going to be pulling its way out of the ground here, and I'm definitely going to have to change my target. But you can see my Goblobbers kind of have done what they can at this point. I'm shooting in here. Those Minotaurs going down very quickly. Very little damage kind of done on those Longbeards. I think I'm shooting myself there in the back a little bit. And actually I'm going to change my target here, and I'm going to be starting to fire at these Centaurs. So actually, surprisingly, a decent target here. Just because they're so close, the rocks actually have a chance to hurt them, and I'm already so engaged in this main line that I might as well shoot at these guys who have some really scary armor-piercing damage. But you can see these Minotaurs are routing, which is going to be very nice for me. And you can see these rocks are going to start coming in on these guys, taking out 3 Centaurs there. Oh man, and look at the damage, just so good, just in one volley. I'm going to really hurt their morale, and almost half health with just like a couple volleys. You can see here, I'm running out of ammo on a lot of my flying units, but they have taken out those Minotaurs, so definitely on their way to paying for themselves. So you can see that Goblobber is going to rout them, and they're going to run off while he tries to find a way in over here. And I'm just going to keep pulling my troops around, doing whatever I can, while I dealt with that one Centaur here. Took a lot of my Ultar Ranger ammo, but now I'm going to be targeting this other Cygor and the Giant. You can see these Gyrocopters now. We switch targets to the other Minotaurs, and I did cast a Rune of Wrath and Rune on them. Definitely meant to do that on the Vestigor unit. But you can see just how quickly I'm kind of chunking these Minotaurs out. Now my Ulthar's Raiders are out of ammo, so I'm just going to be running in the middle. Belegar is taking a ton of damage. So is Throny Ironbrow, or whatever his name is. You can see he's below half health, but I am routing off the Cygor. Now I'm kind of shooting at this stuff in the back as I expend the rest of my ammo. You can see over here. He did get a nice rear charge into these Longbeards, and I did just follow up with my Dwarf Warriors. And you can see I'm slowly kind of eating these guys away. Now the Chaos Spawners are starting to come out though, so these Dwarf Warriors are stacked on these guys. And I believe here comes another unit, so this is definitely kind of a tipping point. The Thane has entered the front of the fight, giving as much help as I can to Belegar because he is just not doing the best in with that Giant that I haven't been able to kill. But you can see these Thunderers here are definitely chunking these Chaos Spawn, doing whatever they can. And you can see they are out of control, so you can't really guide them or tell them what to do, which is a boon for me. Sorry, I didn't mean to fast forward there. You can see I'm getting some nice shots in with my Grudge Thrower. Oh no! Definitely chunking out my own troops. Trying to make those artillery pay for themselves here. Probably should be targeting them at the routing units out the back. But it does rout these guys and rout this flank. So now I'm kind of able to free up the rest of my stuff. Come in here, you can see some more Dwarf Warriors coming in. Still my Gyrocopter's firing in, but my Sky Hammer has run out. You can see it has 40 kills. Not as much as you expect. But it was shooting Minotaurs and dealing with Vestigor, so really not very high unit model stuff. You can see those poor Centaurs getting chased off by rocks. And now it's kind of just a fight in the middle. Morgar and his armor-piercing damage here, and his Chaos Spawn. You can see he does still have some Minotaurs over there. And you can see I did pull out Throny and Belegar. I just wanted to make sure that they did not die here. And you can see the balance bar definitely shifting in my favor. Sky Hammer is going to go over here. I think try and take out some of these Minotaurs. We'll see. You can see some Longbeards chasing there. Definitely a mistake. But you can see being in the middle with Throny and all of these troops where you direct fire past. Dwarf Warriors here. They're just going to be able to chunk out Morgar. Definitely trying to keep my elite units away. Thunderers are firing in. See, these Minotaurs are just so cool. Dwarves definitely got a buff in Steel Faith. The Goblobber I think is 900, but the Grudge Thrower is like 700 gold. So you definitely can, in this mod, everything's cheaper, and you can definitely afford a lot more protection. And even Belegar here got an upgrade. You can see he has armor-piercing damage. I believe he does Sunder armor, and he has Frenzy from his hammer, but that is in vanilla as well. So you can see here, I'm going to finish off the last bit of resistance by turning my Thunderers onto these Minotaurs. And just a withering barrage is going to come in and finish these guys off. They're going to want to have none of that. Definitely a Pyrrhic victory for the Dwarves. You can see my Air Force in the back. I did play this game against Sleepy Narwhals, and you can see my Grudge Throwers just got a ton of kills, probably a lot of friendly fire as well. You can see my Skyhammer and my Gyrocopter both upgraded themselves. I did not put those guys on there. You can see these Thunderers definitely earned their pay for shooting at Cygors and Giants and Minotaurs. And you can see this one that I shut down on that right flank just got 12 kills. So being able to like isolate it in the back, make sure it didn't get its shield block chance, and just dish that huge armor piercing damage, because these guys do have approximately 60 armor, so they can, they do count as armored, sort of. You can see here, My Longbeards all doing okay. Some of them not doing very well. Probably the ones against the Minotaurs themselves. But definitely that artillery paying for itself. You can see this Minotaur with 106. And yeah, these Bestigor just got isolated so early. This Centaur that charged into the back of those Longbeards on the right, racking up some kills. But definitely great game to Sleepy Narwhals, and we'll bring in some more dwarf action in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, and that's that.